America thinks time is on her side, but the clock of justice is ticking. For centuries, this nation has reaped the benefits of pain, blood, and oppression. But what happens when the grace period ends? Have you ever thought of that? America is living on borrowed time, from slavery to segregation, from mass incarceration to police brutality. Every injustice has been recorded in heaven's book of remembrance. God of mercy has covered this land for generations. But mercy is not the same as approval. America has built her wealth on broken backs, her power on stolen ground, and her image on deception, yet she refuses to repent. Every empire that ignored the cries of the oppressed has fallen. Babylon fell, Rome fell, and if history repeats itself, America will fall too. Not necessarily through war or invasion, but through moral decay, division, and divine correction. When a nation turns its back on God, on God's justice, God turns his face away. And when God turns his face away, confusion takes over. Truth be told, truth becomes lies, peace becomes chaos, and love turns cold. But here's the part many don't realize. God is not against Black Americans. He's awakening us. He's raising voices. He's pulling down false systems. The pain we see is not punishment. It's transition. The shaking is not destruction. It's awakening. Yeah, let's watch this videos anyways, and I'll be back.
Have y'all ever stopped to think we live on a fucking semicircular rock? We live on a lava-filled rock and being held together by gravity. Y'all ever think about that? We are literally being held together by gravity. Gravity is keeping us alive. Yeah, oxygen, but it's gravity that keeps everything in place. It keeps the oxygen in your body from leaving out your body. It keeps the seas and the earth from breaking apart and rising. We are orbiting daily, every second, a fucking plasma-filled ball, the sun. We're orbiting something that keeps pulling us in with its gravitational pull. The sun is literally trying to pull the earth in, but because of our gravity, we're spinning while trying to go forward, and the sun is trying to pull us in, so we just keep fucking rotating it. We're one catastrophic event away from the sun getting hotter, stronger, and pulling us in till it fucking toasts the earth and everybody on it. And then just imagine if the sun's gravitational pull got weak, right? If the sun gravitational pull got weak, the earth would start to venture out more and more and more. And what happens? The more the earth ventures farther from the fucking sun, it gets colder, it gets darker. We don't have no sunlight. We go into a real ice age. We perish, we freeze to death. It's gonna be complete darkness. We have no sun, and then we freeze to death. Shit gonna freeze over. That's what we living on. This is the reality. And they want us to pay fucking bills? You want me to pay bills? Like, I need to be enjoying my fucking life. I don't need to be paying bills to live. I want to fucking live. Like, am I the only one that be thinking about this kind of shit? Like, we literally live on a fucking rock. We live on a death trap. We have lava literally under our feet. We have a fucking plasma ball hotter than fucking anything ever, constantly trying to pull us in to vaporize us, and you want me to pay bills. You want me to pay to live? You want me to pay to live? What the fuck? Like, this shit don't make no fucking sense. Why the fuck would I pay to... I hate this shit. I hate this shit. I hate this shit.
After reading all this about America, I don't admire a thing, zero, about that country because it runs on credit. People even go for concerts using credit. Bruh, what kind of brainwashing has happened here? Listen, in China, families save 30 to 40% of their income, which is very far from the 7% Americans save. In fact, Americans don't save because they run on credit. They have to pay back the credit they're already using. People use credit to buy groceries. People use credit to buy a house. People use credit to own a phone. People use credit for everything. So I was asking myself, so me who lives here and I have never had credit in America, what's my score? Is it zero? And they're telling me, no. It just means you will not be able to own anything because they cannot trust you because you don't have a credit score. So it doesn't matter. You have to get credit because that is the system. That is the system. But bro, this system is so fucking brainwashed. And when I read how it started, and I'm like, wow, everybody else is equally brainwashed. Because these guys after post-World War, remember America is focused on profit maximization. They don't care about you guys. That's why I asked myself, instead of introducing credit, why didn't they make healthcare, education, everything accessible? Why didn't they just subsidize and make them cheaper? Instead of having to force people to take on credit where they're going to be paying their whole life. Guys, I just saw a TikTok of this girl who was saying she just completed her undergraduate and she's in debt of over 97,000 US dollars. So instead of the government subsidizing their services, oh, let's make education cheap, let's make healthcare cheap, they make it accessible in credit. So you will forever be in debt of the system. In China, the reverse is the difference. The reverse is true. These guys save everything they have invested in Africa. I will bring you another comparison because America talks about globalization, but everything they are involved in is either military, McDonald's, Coca-Cola. They don't come here to construct hospitals. They don't come here to help with roads. They don't come here to provide better water and sanitation. They don't, because theirs is not a system that supports humanity. It's a system that focuses on a few to generate as much profit and as much money as they can. What the fuck? Big guys, what's going on?
The burnout in America is unreal. Did you see the headline that said 43% of Americans have used vacation time to just spend the day in bed? They're not using PTO to travel, they're using it to sleep. That's how tired we are. And I can already see the comments now. You guys are getting vacation time? I've heard stories of European coworkers not being able to meet their American coworkers in multinational companies because they don't want the American workers finding out how much vacation time the Europeans get. If people from the States found out how much vacation time you get in Europe, I think there'd be some big changes like tomorrow. It is unreal having to live in a place where you have to pick either getting a surgery or putting it off because you don't have the time to take off from work. This can't be healthy. This can't be the right way to live. That's why we're moving to Europe, the land of sunshine and rainbows. I like to say that to rile up my comments. No, we're moving to Portugal, a country within Europe that has its own slew of problems, of course, like anywhere else. But we're escaping the work culture. We're escaping the hustle and bustle and the never being able to take time for yourself. I'm turning 30 soon, and this can't be it. This can't be all there is to life. I refuse to believe it. And even if I fall flat in my face, well, damn it, I'm gonna try. If you find that interesting, stick around. We're moving next year, and we can't be more excited. And in the meantime, to all my American friends, don't be ashamed to take a day off or two. We could all use a break.
And of course, the consequences behind this federal government shutdown that we're all dealing with at the expense of greedy ass fucking Republicans, you understand, is never ending. It's never fucking ending. As a direct result of the federal government shutdown, the reports that us Americans rely heavily on, you know, the reports such as recession indicator, changes in the unemployment rate, you understand, changes in inflation, all of those are delayed. Everything is fucking delayed. Everything. So now, today, it's damn near the end of the month. Today is October 24th. We are now receiving the results of the recession indicator of the inflation rate increases of September. And as you can clearly see, right? The consumer price index showed that inflation rose at a 3% annual rate, a pace last hit in January. And I know how a certain political group loves to scream fake news, fake news. So guess what? One of your favorite media outlets, Fox News, also reported it. But see, the way that Fox News decided to bring forth the information to their viewers, to their audience, was in a way that was very misleading. Misleading, if you ask me. See, Fox News has a habit of telling the news that should make you worried in a way where you don't feel any pressure, feel any stress. And the information that you shouldn't be stressing out over, those are the ones that they use to invoke fear. And the way that Fox News decided to tackle this task of informing the American people of what's going on with the American economy was touching on the fact that the hamburger helper sales have actually surged. But they decided to put a spin on it, make it seem like it's a good thing that people are relying on fucking TV dinners. Let's watch, shall we?
One trend in True Brand is making a big comeback as consumers tighten their wallets. And here it is, Hamburger Helper. The mix of mac and cheese and ground beef is seeing a surge in sales. Harris, I grew up on the cheeseburger Hamburger Helper, and it was very good with the extra cheese sprinkled on top.
So my mom used to look for new ways to jazz it up. She'd put in like cumin in there. She'd put in a little garlic powder, some chopped up celery. She was just trying to make that Hamburger Helper, just stretch it and make it really good. I grew up on it too. It's delicious.
Fancy Hamburger Helper.
Well,
My
Shirley
mom
was
did put the
fancy.
cumin in. Emily.
We loved it so much. So we would do the macaroni and cheese and then add in like a can of vegetables and then tuna. So it was like, yes,
wow.
and it's
They're
so
really
good. I feel
trying
like
to
even
make
like
it
when I
seem-
saw this on the rundown, it like immediately, I'm now craving this. I'm probably going to
Like,
have
this
it for
is
dinner
good.
tonight just so everyone knows because I too love it and grew up with it and it's so yummy. It's such good comfort food.
Memories.
The high protein Hamburger Helper.
I know you guys aren't trying to make it seem like this is a good thing, that this is something that is good, that the American people have now had to revert back to something that was considered as necessary in the 1970s because of the great inflation. You understand? As something that is, it's great. We're all going back to our comfort food. No, people are trying to fucking eat. Let's even look at how they posted the article on their website, right? Hamburger Helper sales surge as Americans tighten budgets and seek cheap filling meals. Underneath that, shoppers shift to meals that stretch further without sacrificing comfort. Are you fucking kidding me? Are you fucking kidding me? If you have to rely on canned foods and fucking TV dinners to feed your family, that's you sacrificing fucking comfort. You've sacrificed fucking comfort, okay? And for you to try to make it seem to the audience that you understand, are heavily in support of this man that's literally fucking up their lives, instead of allowing them to be able to take in the information and see that it's something that they need to be worrisome of, you're trying to spin it and make it seem like it's something that they don't even need to acknowledge at all until shit gets too fucking bad. And then what can they fucking do? What can they fucking do? Crazy thing about it is New York Times actually reported the same exact story a month prior, and their headline is very different. Hamburger Helper sales rise as Americans try to stretch their food dollars, right? The price of beef and other grocery items are climbing, and consumers are turning to canned meats and a 1970s staple. You see how the two differ? One, Fox News makes it seem like this is a great thing. We're all just trying to go back to what we always used to love and we grew up on. Whereas New York Times is like, y'all, shit is getting bad. We're reverting back to 1970s when we had to actually rely on fucking canned goods to eat. And at this point, you already know that I love a good highlight session. Let's read along. In the 1970s, Hamburger Helper became a staple on American dinner tables as families strained by inflation and soaring beef prices looked to turn a pound of ground beef into an entire meal. While most food companies are seeing declines in consumer demand for their products, sales of Hamburger Helper are up 14.5%. And it's not just Hamburger Helper. Sales of foods commonly purchased by consumers when financial times get tough are on the rise, according to industry analysts. Purchases of rice are up 7.5% this year. Distressed shoppers are also buying more cans of tuna, salmon, and sardines. The whole TikTok trend with the Korean tuna. Sales of beans, boxes of macaroni, and cheese are also strong, based on data from the research firm Circana. And this is going to be the last of the highlighting session, right? So the cost of living expenses are up. Eating and drinking expenses are up. right? Says Sally Loins Wyatt, who advises packaged food companies for Circana. Consumers are looking for foods that fill them up for the least amount of money. That's a very different take to what Fox News is reporting to everybody, talking about, oh, yeah, let's just go back to our comfort foods. No, there's a reason why people are going back to that fucking 1970s staple, and you need to tell the people why. This is the exact type of situation that causes the distrust between our media and the audience. This is the reason why a lot of us are now reliant on creators like myself to actually get the news. It's because the people whose job it is to inform us of what's going on is not actually doing that. They're choosing to beat around the bush instead of letting us know straight on, head on, this is what the fuck you guys are facing. Because in all honesty, I don't care how you spin it. Americans having to rely on TV dinners to fill their stomachs is not an indication of a prospering economy. Okay, it's an indication that we're all failing, that the economy is failing, that we are literally stuck in this game of this or that. We have to pick this or that because the option of both is no longer available. So while the people over at Fox News, while the people, the supporters of this particular political party is screaming fake news, you need to point the fingers at yourselves because you guys are the ones that are spreading the fake news. Tell the people, tell the audience what the fuck is really going on in the country that they live in. Thank you.
Americans live on stolen land. Cool, so does basically every country on Earth. You want to start giving it all back alphabetically or just wherever the Wi-Fi is weakest? Yes, we live on stolen land. Thankfully, TikTok activists reminding us from the colonizer-built condos have finally solved it. Yeah, America is built on stolen land. So is basically every other country on Earth. Rome, stolen. China, conquered and reconquered. The Aztecs built their empire by conquering smaller tribes. History isn't a Disney movie. It's a Game of Thrones episode with worse hygiene. But now everybody wants to act all shocked, like conquest was invented in 1492. You know, when Europeans started showing up on ships. And somehow saying this is stolen land has become the social media version of recycling. A quick acknowledgement before getting back to your Uber Eats and influencer collabs. They keep saying, you live on stolen land. Cool. But unless you're actively handing over your house keys and canceling your Spotify premium, maybe toe down the self-righteousness. It's like they just want to talk about it and say, oh, I'm morally superior for knowing history, as long as it doesn't inconvenience me. Calling it stolen land is catchy, but it also ignores 10,000 years of global human migration, conquest, and empires. The entire world lives on land someone else once claimed. History is a map of stolen land. The only difference is who wrote the treaties and who fucking lost. For some reason, America seems to be the only one who's having a deed problem. So keep on making your TikToks while you drink your Starbeezes, because one thing I do know for sure, it's okay to acknowledge history, that's fair, but maybe stop pretending moral purity lives in your TikTok bio. What are your thoughts on this? You know I love to hear it, good or bad.
Living in America right now feels like a punishment. You wake up already behind, you go to work just to stay broke, and you watch the cost of everything rise while your paycheck doesn't move an inch. Groceries are a luxury, rent is robbery, healthcare is a joke, and somehow we're the ones blamed for not budgeting better. People are working 2-3 jobs and still choosing between food or gas. Families are crammed into apartments because buying a house became a fantasy. You can't afford to get sick, you can't afford to rest, you can't afford to exist. But they keep telling us the economy's strong. Strong for who? Because it sure as hell isn't the people doing the work. We're out here treading water while billionaires build rockets, politicians trade stocks, and corporations raise prices just because they can. We were promised opportunity, we got survival. And what makes this worse is watching people blame themselves. Like somehow you failed because you can't afford a one-bedroom anymore. Like you didn't do enough, when the truth is the math just stopped adding up years ago. They told us to work harder, but never told us they'd change the finish line. This isn't a country full of lazy people. It's a country full of exhausted ones. Simple as that.
America got me fucked up, and a whole lot of other people too. So I just went for my run, day 50, y'all. Day 50, just finished my run. Anyway, I come home and I have a letter, and they're like, hey, you owe us some money. We need you to pay this and this and that. I'm like, okay, cool. last week I also got another letter from a debt collector that said, hey, we're going to take you to court over this unpaid amount of money. And I had let them know earlier this year, like, hey, I lost my job, I'm not able to do it, blah, blah, blah. And they said, okay, well, we're going to come after you anyway, and we're going to tell them to take your money anyway. And I'm just like, my heart goes out to people like me, people that are in my situation, because, and honestly, I'm stepping into this new thing of life. My birthday just passed. I'm 28 now. I'm stepping into this new thing of life. Like, everything from before doesn't necessarily have to apply, like, now in that sense. We got scammed. We literally were publicly scammed. They said, hey, go to college, get these degrees, it's gonna work out, pay all of this money, and you're gonna make a lot of money to be able to take care of things. The rate in which the prices of things are going up are not going up in a way that everyday people can keep up with it. And what I mean by that is, if I took out a loan 10 years ago and it has occurred all of this interest, right, I'm going to need to make a lot of money, really like 6 figures, to be able to cover all of the debts. But in the time that I'm not paying the debt, they're charging me interest, they're charging me all of these extra things that are just making it impossible to pay, very difficult to pay. It also makes me think, like, even when it comes to like banks, right, if you are overdrafted by $2, they're gonna hit you with a $35 charge. So I'm being charged more money for not having money, and then if I don't get that money, they're gonna charge me another $35. If I'm already struggling to pay the $2, why are you going to charge me $35 a day? If I had the money to pay you, I absolutely would. But unfortunately, I'm without the funds to pay you, and there's nothing that I can do about that right now. I'm not about to wreck my brain or wreck my life anymore to be paying for money. And the crazy thing is, I went to the store yesterday, and I went to the store because I wanted to buy a shirt. And I went to Five Below, I wanted to buy this shirt. And I was in line, and I was like, oh, should I get the shirt? Should I get the shirt? First off, it was my birthday weekend. I could get whatever it is that I want. And I was also like, the crazy thing is that I pay over $800 a month in just bills. Just bills. That is not including the food that I need to eat to stay alive, the body wash it is that I need to wash my ass, or the gas I need to put in the car to get around. We pay so much money to things outside of us just to stay alive. And honestly, you don't need those things to stay alive. You do not need a job to stay alive. You do not need a car to stay alive. You don't need any of those things to stay alive. What you need to stay alive is food, community. That's what it is that you need to stay alive. You need to go to the bathroom. You need to do all of these things. And I just think about how much money is going out, and it's so hard. And putting pressure on everybody, putting pressure on things don't always produce diamonds. You can break under pressure, and that's okay too. It's okay to break under pressure. I owe $182,000, y'all. Putting pressure on me is not going to produce no diamond, because I'm tired of what I'm working towards, the goal being to pay the shit off. It's not sustainable. It's not sustainable in any way. So yeah, like, you want us to pay these debts off, and y'all being aggressive with us about the money we owe y'all, because y'all up to y'all assholes and owing people money too. That's the problem. So you gonna bully me because somebody bullying you, and probably because somebody bullying them, because America is in debt. If y'all, I want y'all to be on my ass the way y'all be on America ass the way y'all on my ass about this money. And then, you know, our president is bullying people. If you disagree with, he is such a narcissist. Like, if you disagree with what it is that he does or says, the actions he's taking are like embarrassingly comical. I'm sorry. I'm without the funds to pay it, because y'all took advantage of people whose frontal lobes were not fully developed, who were in a position of being vulnerable, who, for me, and this is the experience of some other people, and for other people it may be different, went to college trying to establish themselves and find a sense of identity. And you let me sign for all those loans. You let me sign for all those loans, but you knew the reality of what it was going to be like when I got out of college. You knew the odds of actually getting a job. I can only help you so much. I can't pay you money I don't have. And it just sucks, because people are struggling to be present because they're still paying for their past. Not only do I have to pay those debts, I still have to stay alive. I still need to brush my teeth. I still need to eat. I still need to shower. I still need clean clothes. But y'all owe me about money from some years ago from a loan that still ain't paid off. We got scammed. Y'all walked up to us and said, hey, make this investment, pay us some money, this is investment, and you'll be good. We paid the money, y'all gone. We went out to go get a job and get it. Y'all come back like, so you got my money? I don't have your money. And I don't know when I'm gonna have it for you. So yeah, like I'm done living life just to pay money and pay bills. It's really not what you need. When you remove yourself from that stuff, it's truly not what you need to stay alive. You need food. You need food, you need water, you need some sunshine. That's it. That's all.
Is anyone else completely sick and tired of living in America where you're expected to work your entire life? Like, we are not here to work. Our jobs are not our lives. Our jobs are not our purpose. Like, everyone asks me, like, what's your job? What are you doing with your life? Like, I'm just trying to save enough and get passive income so I can go travel the world and start my life. Like, everyone thinks their purpose is to work. Like, you get done with high school, then you go to college for 4 years, then you're $30,000 in debt, and then you're trying to find a job just so you can pay off that debt over the next 3 years. And then what? Then you're making enough money just to pay your mortgage and afford groceries and then pay for kids. And then before you know it, you're 60 and you're retiring and your body hurts because of your job and you didn't do anything that you wanted to do. And that's our life. That's what you're expected to do. And if you break out of that, then people are going to judge you and think you're weird or you're crazy or you're a hippie. I'm so sick of it. America needs to make a change. Something needs to change because people are not happy here. People are not living their dreams. People are not living their life. They are working. They think that their work is their life. It is not that way.
Why do so many of us in America look broke down by the time we turn age 50? I'll tell you why. We've been worked into the dirt. And see, every time I go out, I notice this. Our bodies are tired. People limping, backs hurt, knees shot, and feet straight busted. It's like people are walking billboards for what overworking does to the human body. And let's be honest here, it's not genetics, y'all. This is capitalism. See, in America, you literally work until your body falls apart. You ignore pain, you push through injury. You skip checkups because you don't have the time and you don't have the money. And then by the time you're older, your body cashes the check that your job wrote years ago, but then it bounces. Now, compare that to older people in other countries. You'll see 70-year-olds still walking to the store, riding bikes. Meanwhile, here, we got 45-year-olds moving like they're 90. And why? Because in America, see, your age is not just an indication of how long you've actually lived. It also tells how hard you've been worked. And you know the wildest part of it all? After all of that work, you don't have nothing to show for it. All the money you made is already spoken for. Bills, debt, medical costs, food, rent, mortgage, that money gone. So you gave your body and you gave your youth and you don't even get any peace or security in return. So when you hear somebody ask, why do Americans look so beat down? It's not just age, y'all. It's a system that grinds you up, spits you out, and then blames you for not taking better care of yourself.
I don't know who's out here living the American dream, but I can tell you one person who isn't, and that's me. I have 4 kids, and I'm working 3 jobs, and I'm still struggling. I have my full-time job. I'm a 911 dispatcher. My other 2 jobs, a waitress. The American dream should not be this hard. I should not have to be working my life away, being away from my kids. You know, sometimes I have to pick. Am I going to pay my electric bill or am I going to buy groceries? Because my kids need to eat. This is not the American dream. I'm so tired of struggling. You know, so many people are going to working multiple jobs just to pay for a house to sleep in, just to put their head down at night. This is not the American dream, not my American dream. That's why I started posting here on TikTok. So hopefully I can slow down some so I can spend time with my kids. Life shouldn't be this hard. I know one person that's making 6 figures and they're still struggling. Why's it gotta be so hard? Anyways, if you want to help this mama out from struggling, you know what to do. I'm headed into work to work at Buffalo Wild Wings today. I have to work a double, say a prayer, I make some money.
I am so tired of feeling helpless as a parent. Yes, my kids are grown adults. My oldest is 28, my youngest is 25. And I thought by teaching them what I learned, which is you work hard, you get a good job, you're going to get the things in life that you need, right? Worked for me, why wouldn't it work for them? Because it doesn't. Because the world has fucking changed, all right? And now I feel like I see them struggling. And before my generation comes at me, yes, I understand struggling is a part of life. We all struggled. But there's a difference between struggling and drowning, all right? So we struggled and it was tough. But you know what? We made it. We knew there was a light at the end of the tunnel with our struggle. It seems like kids today, no matter how much they struggle, they just get further and further down the water into the drowning point, all right? When I was their age, I was making less than $10 an hour. And I can afford to live on my own. Now you have to be making six-figure salary to get a decent, tiny little place to live. So what the fuck is going on and how do we help them as parents? I told my son, all you have to do is work hard, go to college or join the military like I did. He went to college, got his degree, got a full-time job. He moved back in with me right when he graduated from college because he said, hey, Mom, as soon as I get a job, which was within 2 weeks of him getting out of college, maybe take me 2 months and I'll save up enough money for me to move out. Okay, cool. It's been 10 months. He has saved almost every dime and still can't afford to live. Why are one-bedroom studio apartments almost $2,000 a month? Why? Like, I just don't get it. So I don't even think that there's even classes anymore. There used to be, upper class, middle class, lower class. It's literally turning into the ultra wealthy and then everybody else is just poor. Like, that's what is happening. And then I told him, hey, when you turn 25, at least your car insurance will go down. Hell no, he turned 25 and his car insurance went up $150. I tell him, if you need health insurance, get a good job. He has health insurance. He has had a medical emergency this week. Had to go to emergency room twice. He had to go to the emergency room because he couldn't get anybody to see him with the health insurance that he had. Right? So he had to go to an emergency room. Now he's out money for that too. It seems like you can never get ahead. And then my daughter, I told her all you have to do because she wanted to buy her own house. My daughter worked 6 days a week, 12 hours a day to save up enough for this down payment. Finally got this house. She's paying double what I'm paying for my mortgage, but her loan was the same amount. And then her mortgage company, after she's already moved in, said, oh, by the way, we forgot to tell you that you need this type of coverage, which we forgot in the beginning. That's an extra $200 you've been paying a month. And all they see when they come home is they watch social media, kids their age on lavish vacations with all this money and nothing to do, all these social media influencers, because we value those types of things over hard workers. We will pay them $10,000, but you work 40 hours a week, you can't afford it.
Welcome back. I must say credit to those creators. All right. Now let's head to the finishing. America has borrowed time from the prayers of the righteous, from the forgiveness of the oppressed, and from the grace of God himself. But borrowed time eventually runs out. The question is, will America repent or will she repeat history? I actually want to know your thoughts in the comments, right? Let's get into it. Let's make this, an educational conversation. Let's talk about it. Do you think things are going to eventually change? Let me see your thoughts in the comments, right? Do not forget, it's your sister, your friend, Blessing from Global Gist with Beejay. Please kindly subscribe, like, and share this video. I'll see you on the next one. Bye.